I want you to picture a morning routine that is probably very familiar to you. The sun is coming through the kitchen window. You are sitting at your table. You have your pill organizer sitting next to your coffee cup. You pop open the lid for Tuesday morning and take out a small, white, oval-shaped pill. Maybe it is Lipitor, maybe it is Zocor, maybe it is a generic version like Atorvastatin or Simvastatin. You swallow it with a sip of water because your doctor told you that your cholesterol is a little high and this pill is your insurance policy against a heart attack. Then, you reach for your breakfast. You want to be healthy. You want to eat fresh, natural food. So, you cut open a ruby red grapefruit. You sprinkle a little sugar on it, or maybe you just drink a tall glass of tart, fresh squeezed grapefruit juice. You feel good. You feel like you are taking care of your body. You are taking your medicine, and you are eating your fruit. But I am here to tell you that in that specific moment, by combining that specific pill with that specific fruit, you have just created a toxic chemical cocktail inside your body. You haven't just eaten breakfast, you have effectively overdosed on your medication without taking a single extra pill. You have turned a life-saving drug into a potential poison that can destroy your muscles and shut down your kidneys. This is not a myth. This is not an old wives' tale. This is a severe biological interaction that sends thousands of seniors to the emergency room every year, often with symptoms they never connect back to that glass of juice. Today we are going to talk about the grapefruit effect. It is a topic that is often mentioned in the small print of pharmacy pamphlets that nobody reads, but it is rarely explained with the seriousness it deserves. We are going to break down exactly how a simple citrus fruit has the power to hijack your liver. We are going to explain why this interaction can be deadly for those taking statins and blood pressure medications. We are going to dispel the myth that you can just wait a few hours between eating the fruit and taking the pill. And most importantly, we are going to look at the safe alternatives so you can keep your diet healthy without risking your life. By the end of this video, you will understand the chemistry of your own digestion better than most people, and you will know exactly what to banish from your grocery list if you are on heart medication. To understand why grapefruit is dangerous, we first have to understand what happens to a pill when you swallow it. When you take a statin, it goes down your esophagus and into your stomach. It dissolves. It enters your intestines, and from there, it is absorbed into your bloodstream. But before it goes to the rest of your body, it has to pass through a checkpoint. That checkpoint is your liver. Your liver is the ultimate gatekeeper. It is the security guard of your body. Its job is to look at everything that enters your blood and decide how much of it gets to pass through. Inside your liver, there are enzymes, little biological workers, that break down substances. For medications, the most important worker is an enzyme called CYP3A4. I know that sounds like a password, but remember that name. CYP3A4. This enzyme is responsible for metabolizing about 50% of all the drugs we take. Think of this enzyme like a Pac-Man. It chomps away at the medication. When you take a 20 mg pill of Atorvastatin, your doctor knows about this enzyme. They know that the Pac-Man in your liver is going to eat up a large portion of that pill before it ever reaches your heart. So, the 20 mg you swallow might result in only a small, safe amount actually active in your blood. The dosage is calculated assuming the enzyme is doing its job. Enter the grapefruit. Grapefruit contains natural chemical compounds called furanocoumarins. These compounds are not toxic to you directly, they are actually part of the plant's defense system against bugs. But in the human body, furanocoumarins are a weapon against that enzyme. When you eat grapefruit or drink the juice, these compounds travel to your liver and they attack the CYP3A4 enzyme. They don't just distract it, they destroy it. They bind to the enzyme and deactivate it permanently. Now, imagine the scenario. You eat the grapefruit. The grapefruit knocks out the security guards in your liver. Then, you take your statin. The pill arrives at the liver, expecting to be broken down. But the workers are gone. The Pac-Man is gone. So, instead of a small, safe amount of the drug entering your bloodstream, the entire dose enters your bloodstream at full strength. And not just the full strength of one pill. Because the liver is effectively shut down for this drug, the medication starts to stack up. If you drink 1 glass of grapefruit juice, it can increase the absorption of some statins by up to 300% or more. Think about that math. Taking 1 pill with grapefruit juice can be the equivalent of taking 3, 4, or even 10 pills with water. If you do this every day for a week, having your morning juice and your morning pill, you are slowly poisoning yourself. You are reaching toxic levels of the drug in your blood, levels that are far beyond what your doctor intended, and far beyond what your body can handle. So, what happens when you have a statin overdose? The most feared complication is something called rhabdomyolysis. This is a terrifying condition where your muscle tissue actually begins to break down and die. The muscle fibers dissolve and release a protein called myoglobin into your bloodstream. Myoglobin is toxic to kidneys. It clogs them up like hair in a drain. The symptoms of this toxicity often start subtly, which is why seniors often miss them. You might feel a little achy. You might think, oh, I must have slept wrong, or my arthritis is acting up, or I'm just getting old. But this pain is different. It is a deep, diffuse muscle ache, often in the thighs, shoulders, or lower back. It feels like you ran a marathon you didn't run. You might feel incredibly weak, like you can't lift your arms to brush your hair. And then, the most alarming sign appears: your urine changes color. It turns dark. It looks like tea, or cola, or reddish brown. That is not dehydration. That is your own melted muscle tissue exiting your body through your kidneys. If you see this, it is a medical emergency. If left untreated, it leads to kidney failure and can be fatal. All because the grapefruit stopped the enzyme that was supposed to protect you. But statins are not the only victim of the grapefruit. This fruit is an equal opportunity offender. It affects a wide range of medications that are common in the 60+ population. Let's talk about blood pressure meds. Specifically calcium channel blockers like nifedipine or felodipine. These are very common drugs. If you mix them with grapefruit, the drug levels spike. Instead of keeping your blood pressure steady, the pressure drops too low. You might get dizzy. You might faint when you stand up. Your heart might start racing, tachycardia, to compensate. You might notice severe swelling in your ankles that wasn't there before. You go to the doctor complaining of dizziness, and they might think your heart is getting worse, when in reality, you are just overdosing on your normal medication because of your breakfast. It also affects certain anti-anxiety medications like Valium or Xanax. It affects some blood thinners. It affects some heart rhythm drugs like amiodarone. The list is long, but the mechanism is the same: the grapefruit destroys the checkpoint, and the drugs flood the system. Now, I know what many of you are thinking. You are thinking, okay, I understand. I just won't take them at the same time. I'll eat my grapefruit at 8 a.m. and take my pill at 8 p.m. That should be safe, right? I am sorry to tell you that the answer is no. This is the most dangerous myth about this interaction. Remember how I said the furanocoumarins destroy the enzyme? Your body cannot just snap its fingers and make new enzymes instantly. It takes time to rebuild the factory. The effect of a single glass of grapefruit juice can last for more than 24 hours. In some cases, the effect can persist for up to 72 hours, that is 3 full days. If you have a grapefruit on Monday morning, your liver is still compromised on Tuesday night. If you eat grapefruit every day, your liver never recovers. There is no safe window during the day to separate them. If you are on these specific medications, grapefruit must be evicted from your diet completely. It cannot be a sometimes treat. This brings us to the confusion about other citrus fruits. If grapefruit is bad, does that mean all citrus is bad? Must you give up vitamin C? Absolutely not. The villain compound is specific to grapefruit and a few of its close relatives. Oranges, generally safe. Common sweet oranges, Navel, Valencia, do not contain the enzyme blocking compound. You can drink orange juice. Lemons and limes, safe. You can put a slice of lemon in your water or on your fish. Tangerines and clementines, generally safe. However, there are two other fruits you need to watch out for because they are related to the grapefruit. Number 1 is the pomelo. The pomelo is actually the ancestor of the grapefruit. It is huge, with a thick rind. It contains the same dangerous compounds. Avoid it. Number 2 is the Seville orange. This is the tricky one. Seville oranges are bitter. You rarely eat them raw, but they are used to make orange marmalade. If you love toast with marmalade in the morning, you need to check the label. If it is made with Seville oranges, which most traditional marmalades are, it carries the same risk as grapefruit juice. Sour oranges used in Caribbean cooking marinades can also be a culprit. But your standard glass of Tropicana orange juice? That is fine. I want to address a question that often comes up: why didn't my doctor make a bigger deal out of this? The truth is, doctors are overwhelmed. They have 15 minutes to diagnose you, prescribe the medication, and get to the next patient. They might say, watch your diet, or the warning might be printed on the bottle stickers that we often ignore. But also, human bodies are variable. Some people have a lot of CYP3A4 enzymes, some have less. Some people might eat grapefruit and feel fine, others might end up in the ICU. Because it is unpredictable, the medical advice has to be a blanket ban. It is not worth the risk to find out if you are the lucky one or the unlucky one. Let's talk about the statin specifically, because not all statins are created equal in the eyes of the grapefruit. This is a nuanced point that might help you have a conversation with your doctor. The statins that are most heavily affected are Atorvastatin, Lipitor, Simvastatin, Zocor, and Levastatin, Mevacor. These rely heavily on that CYP3A4 enzyme. However, there are newer statins that bypass this system. Rosuvastatin, Crestor, and Pravastatin, Pravachol, are processed differently by the liver. They are generally considered safer to take if you absolutely insist on having grapefruit in your life. But, and this is a huge but, you should never make the switch or the dietary change without consulting your doctor. Do not just hear this and think, I'll switch pills. Your doctor prescribed a specific statin for a specific reason, based on your lipid profile and risk factors. But it is a valid question to ask, Doctor, I love grapefruit and I really miss it. Is there a statin option that doesn't interact? They might be able to switch you. But until that conversation happens, assume the fruit is off limits. We also need to look at the natural fallacy. As we get older, we tend to distrust chemicals and trust nature. We think, how can a fruit be bad for me? It grew on a tree. This line of thinking is dangerous. Nature is full of powerful chemicals. Arsenic is natural. Hemlock is natural. Mushrooms can kill you. Just because something is a fruit doesn't mean it is benign. Grapefruit is a potent biological agent. In fact, scientists are actually studying the compounds in grapefruit to see if they can be used to help make expensive drugs more effective by boosting their absorption intentionally. But when you are doing it accidentally at your kitchen table, it is uncontrolled and dangerous. Let's discuss the label reading. It is not just the fresh fruit. You have to become a detective. Grapefruit juice is often used as a filler in fruit punch blends because it is cheap and adds a nice tartness. You might buy a bottle of tropical blend or citrus medley thinking it is just pineapple and orange, but if you flip it over, grapefruit juice concentrate might be the second ingredient. You have to read the ingredient list on every drink. It is also found in some sodas like Squirt or Fresca, which are grapefruit flavored. While the amount in soda is small, if you are very sensitive or drink a lot of it, it adds up. What if you have already eaten a grapefruit this morning and you took your pill? Do not panic. One grapefruit is unlikely to kill you instantly. The toxicity usually builds up over days. The best thing to do is to stop eating it immediately. Do not skip your next dose of medication unless your doctor tells you to, but definitely do not eat any more fruit. Drink plenty of water to help flush your system. Watch for those symptoms: muscle aches, dark urine, extreme fatigue. If you feel them, go to the urgent care and tell them exactly what happened. I am on statins and I ate grapefruit. This gives them the clue they need to check your kidney function and your creatine kinase levels, which show muscle damage. There is another aspect to this interaction that is less talked about: therapeutic failure. Sometimes, the interaction doesn't cause an overdose, it causes the drug to stop working entirely. This happens with a different mechanism for certain allergy meds like fexofenadine, Allegra. Instead of blocking the breakdown, the fruit juice blocks the absorption. It stops the drug from getting into the blood at all. So you take your allergy pill with juice, and your allergies don't go away. You think the pill is useless, but really, the juice locked the door. For heart meds, we mostly worry about the overdose, but be aware that fruit juices can be disruptive in many ways. Water is always the best liquid to wash down a pill. Why is this so critical for the 60-plus demographic in the USA? Because we are the most medicated generation in history, and we are also the generation that grew up on the grapefruit diet. We associate grapefruit with weight loss and health. It was the superfood of the 1970s and 80s. Many seniors eat half a grapefruit every morning out of habit to keep their weight down or for the vitamin C. It is a deeply ingrained habit. Breaking that habit is hard. It feels like giving up a friend. But you have to weigh the cost. Is the tart taste of that fruit worth risking kidney failure? Is it worth the excruciating pain of muscle breakdown? The answer is clearly no. There are so many other wonderful fruits. Blueberries are excellent for the brain and heart and have zero interaction with statins. Strawberries, bananas, apples, pears, the produce section is full of safe options. You are not depriving yourself, you are protecting yourself. Let's talk about the accidental discovery of this. It is a fascinating story. In 1989, researchers were actually testing whether alcohol interacted with a specific blood pressure drug. They needed a way to mask the taste of the alcohol so the test subjects wouldn't know if they were drinking booze or not. They used grapefruit juice because it has such a strong flavor. To their shock, the group that got the grapefruit juice had massive levels of the drug in their blood, way higher than expected. It wasn't the alcohol, it was the mixer. It was a complete accident that changed pharmacology forever. Before 1989, we didn't know. Now we do. Ignorance was acceptable then, it is not acceptable now. I want to revisit the symptoms of rhabdomyolysis because I want you to memorize them. Muscle pain, not sharp pain, but a deep, throbbing ache. Like you have been beaten up. Usually in the big muscles, thighs, back, shoulders. Weakness, difficulty standing up from a chair. Difficulty lifting your arms. Dark urine, this is the smoking gun. Brown, red, or tea-colored. If you have these, do not wait. It is better to go to the ER and be told you are fine than to stay home and lose your kidneys. There is a psychological element to managing your medication. It is about control. When you are diagnosed with high cholesterol or high blood pressure, you feel a loss of control. You have to take a pill every day. You feel dependent. Eating whatever you want feels like reclaiming that control. I'll eat what I want, the pill handles the rest. But you have to understand that the pill and the food are partners. They are dancing together in your body. If they step on each other's toes, you fall down. True control is understanding the interaction and making the choice that keeps you out of the hospital. So, let's summarize the action plan for you. Step 1, go to your medicine cabinet. Look at your bottles. Do you see Atorvastatin, Simvastatin, Lipitor? Do you see nifedipine? Step 2, if yes, go to your kitchen. Do you have grapefruits or grapefruit juice? Step 3, if yes, get rid of them. Give them to a neighbor who isn't on meds. Don't keep them for a special treat. Step 4. Check your marmalades and your mixed fruit juices. Step 5. Stock up on safe alternatives. Oranges for vitamin C, berries for antioxidants. Step 6. If you really struggle with giving it up, make an appointment to talk to your doctor about switching to a non-interacting medication like Atorvastatin. But promise yourself you won't eat the fruit until the doctor gives the green light. Your health is a puzzle. The medication is one piece. Your diet is another. Sleep is another. They all have to fit together. You cannot force two puzzle pieces together that don't match. Grapefruit and statins are pieces from two different puzzles. They do not fit. It is easy to feel resentful about the things we have to give up as we age. We give up salt, we give up sugar, we give up smoking. And now I am telling you to give up a fruit. I know it seems unfair. But think about what you are gaining. You are gaining the full benefit of the medication that is keeping your arteries clear. You are gaining safety. You are gaining freedom from complications. A life without grapefruit is a small price to pay for a life without kidney failure. We often think of poison as something in a skull and crossbones bottle. We think of it as cyanide or arsenic. But poison is often just a matter of context. Water can be a poison if you drink too much of it. Oxygen can be toxic at high pressures. And a healthy, vitamin-packed grapefruit becomes a poison when it meets a statin. It is all about the chemistry. You are the CEO of your own body. Your doctor is a consultant. The pharmacist is a consultant. But you are the one making the executive decisions every morning at the breakfast table. You are the one putting the fork in your mouth. Make the decision that keeps the company running. Make the decision that protects the liver, the kidneys, and the muscles. Next time you are at the grocery store and you see that big display of pink grapefruits on sale, keep walking. Head over to the navel oranges. Head over to the Honeycrisp apples. Smile and say to yourself, I know better. That is the power of knowledge. That is the power of taking charge of your health. Thank you for listening. This information is literally life-saving. Share it with your friends. You would be surprised how many people have been taking these pills for 10 years and still drinking their morning juice, wondering why their legs hurt. Be the one to tell them. Be the one to break the cycle. Stay safe, stay medicated correctly, and eat well.